Hi, and welcome back to Football Made Simple. Two great teams clashed at the Santiago Bernabeu as Real Madrid hosted City in the Champions League. The match ended 2-1 to City thanks to Jesus and De Bruyne, whilst Isco netted for the hosts. The XG backed up the results, but what tactics did Pep and Zidane use? Well, let's take a look. A quick reminder of the formations used on paper by both sides, although on the pitch they were much more fluid, as shown by the OneFootball app. If you want match updates for your favorite team, as well as news, stats, and more, check out the OneFootball app for free through the link in the description below. Let's start with what Real did in possession. On paper, it was a 4-3-3, but the reality is it was more of a lopsided 4-5-1, with the four midfielders forming a fluid diamond, whilst Vinicius was most commonly seen on the left flank, as indicated by the average positions. City lined up in a 4-4-2 defensively, with De Bruyne and Bernardo up top, with Jesus on the left-hand side. Real Madrid looked to play out from the back, and initially City wanted to press high, but mostly used a mid-block. Real used the width of the pitch, often splitting the centre-backs and pushing the full-backs high, to give City's forwards a lot of room to cover. Courtois was used effectively as an extra outfielder to create a 3 vs 2 against City's forwards, as shown by him only attempting 7 long balls. Real also pushed their fullbacks high to provide outlets when the centre-backs were occupied. But if they used their usual shape, City's wingers would be easily able to cover them, so on the right we saw an interesting ploy from Zidane. Often Modric would drop into the right back zone, with Carvajal pushing higher up on the right, whilst Isco would move out to support. This meant that Real created a 3 vs 2 on the flank, so if Jesus went deep with his runner, Modric would be the unmarked outlet. At the same time, if he stayed higher on Modric, we often saw Real push a man narrow to try and bring Mendy in, and one wide to try and take advantage of this space behind Mendy to make a run on goal. But the fact that Real effectively had a 4 vs 2 against City in the midfield meant that in the first half especially, they could keep possession by creating numerical overloads around the ball. The four were fluid, so if the ball was to the right, they could create a double pivot there to help play out, and repeat the same on the other side. At times, when City's double pivot joined in this press, Real could look to find their man between the lines with a simple chipped ball. So most of the time, the City double pivot sat deep, and this allowed Real to move up the pitch more easily. When high up, City dropped into a 4-4-2, but kept the two forwards slightly higher. Real struggled to play through the centre, so opted for wide play through combination play from Vinicius and Mendy. Vinicius often made a run deep and central, and at times Real would look to find him. But more commonly, he dragged Walker centrally, leaving Mahrez 1 vs 1 against Mendy, and as Mahrez is not great defensively, Ferland Mendy would have the space to cross, as shown by him attempting the most crosses for the team. This is also what led to Benzema's big-headed chance. But with Carvajal and Mendy being highly attacking, City often transitioned into the space behind the fullbacks, leading to several big chances. This was aided by keeping their two forwards higher up, and Mahrez was always quick to join, so De Bruyne often had several passes to choose from. Now let's move on to City's attacking plans. From deep, City looked to play out from the back, but Zidane was well prepared for this and orchestrated a great press to stop this. The two forwards got the two centre-backs, and Rodri often dropped deeper than Gundogan. With the extra man in midfield, Madrid could confidently push him high to prevent the pass to Rodri. Many teams, when attempting to press City high, will also press Ederson to try and win the ball, but this leaves the City centre-back free as a result. Madrid instead let Ederson have the ball, using their press to force City longer where their centre-backs could dominate rather than trying to win the ball high up. This play was so successful, Ederson attempted 17 long balls, which is unusual for a Guardiola side. In fact, the high press also led to Real's goal, closing down Rodri and Otamendi before transitioning quickly and getting the goal. But as the match wore on and Real's press dwindled, City were able to get high up more often. In the first half, De Bruyne and Bernardo stayed relatively high, making it hard to find them in the centre. Mahrez always cut in and Walker doesn't overlap, so City's only attacking option was through the left, as shown by the attacking sides. But once Sterling came on and the shape changed to give De Bruyne more room and to give City width either side, they found more success. De Bruyne could now drop deeper to provide an easier passing option. Sterling was more comfortable staying wide as opposed to Jesus, who when wide would try and come centrally as early as possible. City's first goal epitomizes this, with Sterling staying wide and running the channel. De Bruyne is freed from playing as a centre forward and now provides a deep option and gets the cross into Jesus, who is now in his preferred centre forward role. So overall, this wasn't a vintage attacking display from either side, and they will look to make improvements going into the second leg. But which other tactics did you notice not mentioned in the video? Remember to drop your comments down below to start conversations with other football lovers. Who do you think will win the second leg? Drop it down below. But that's all for today, and remember, keep it simple.